library friends. This is Miss Cindy from the Crown Point Community Library, and today I'm going to be bringing the library into your home with the STEAM to Go activity kit. And I hope that you've been coming by the library and picking up these kits, and this is not something that you're just learning about now, because we've been having a lot of fun this summer. Our theme for summer reading is Imagine Your Story. If you haven't signed up for summer reading, please go ahead and do that. It's not too late. And stop by the library. You can see I don't know if you remember from years past where we put the beads in the jars. Well, this year we have bean vines growing up our windows in the back, and you can see how your school's doing for that challenge. And you can grab one of these activity kits while you're here. So if you've been following along, you know that each week we focus on a different type of story. And this week is all about the world of wizards and wizardry. So we're kind of doing a Harry Potter theme for our summer reading for this week. So if you notice, I have this book right here. This is a book called Quidditch Through the Ages. It is a nonfiction book, and it is a book that you can check out. I've got some other books. I have this one, The Sorcerer's Companion. It's a guide to the magical world of Harry Potter. These are all found in our nonfiction section, so you may not have been aware that we had them in the library. This one's a really cool book. This one is a journey through the history of magic, and this book, it just has it has all kinds of Harry Potter things, and then activities and things that you can do at home, and it explains things to you. It's just a really super cool book. But these are all found in our nonfiction section. So not where you would normally find the Harry Potter books. And if you need help finding any of those, you can just ask one of the librarians when you come over to the library. So our STEAM to Go activity this week is creating a catapult. And you're going to be given a ping pong ball in your bag, and that's going to be that can be one of the balls that's used in the game of Quidditch, and you're going to pretty much be designing your own Quidditch game based on what you have in your bag. So I thought, to go along with that, I have the book Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban here, and I'm going to read just a quick section of one of the Quidditch matches. So if you know Harry Potter, you know what Quidditch is and how it works. But it is a game that they play. It would be like a sporting game at their school. So I'm going to go ahead and read a little bit to you. Sit back and enjoy. Mount your brooms on my whistle. 3, 2, 1. Harry kicked off into the air, and the firebolt zoomed higher and faster than any other broom. He soared around the stadium and began squinting around for the snitch, listening all the while to the commentary which was being provided by the Weasley twins' friend, Lee Jordan. Okay, Gryffindor in possession. Katie Bell of Gryffindor heading for the goal. Harry streaked past Katie in the opposite direction, gazing around for a glint of gold and noticing that Cho Chang was tailing him closely. She was undoubtedly a very good flyer. She kept cutting across him, forcing him to change direction. "Show her your acceleration, Harry," Fred yelled as he whooshed past in pursuit of a bludger that was aiming for Alicia. Harry urged the firebolt forward as they rounded the Ravenclaw goalpost, and Cho fell in behind him. Just as Katie succeeded in scoring the first goal of the match, and the Gryffindor end of the pitch went wild, he saw it, the snitch. It was close to the ground, flitting near one of the barriers. Harry dived. Cho saw what he was doing and tore after him. Harry was speeding up, excitement flooding him. Dives were his specialty. He was 10 feet away. And then a bludger, hit by one of the Ravenclaw beaters, came pelting out of nowhere. Harry veered off course, avoiding it by an inch, and in those few crucial seconds, the snitch had vanished. There was a great ooh of disappointment from the Gryffindor supporters, but much applause for their beater from at the Ravenclaw end. George Weasley vented his feelings by hitting the second blunder directly at an offending beater who was forced to roll right over in midair to avoid it. Ravenclaw were pulling back. They had now scored 3 goals, which put Gryffindor only 50 points ahead. If Cho got the snitch before him, Ravenclaw would win. Harry dropped lower, narrowly avoiding a Ravenclaw chaser, scanning the pitch frantically. A glint of gold, a flutter of tiny wings. The snitch was circling the Gryffindor goalpost. Harry accelerated, eyes fixed on the speck of gold ahead, but the next second, Cho had appeared out of thin air, blocking him. "Harry, this is no time to be a gentleman!" Wood roared as Harry swerved to avoid a collision. "Knock her off her broom if you have to!" Harry turned and caught sight of Cho. She was grinning. The snitch had vanished again. Harry turned his firebolt upwards and was soon 20 feet above the game. Out of the corner of his eye, he saw Cho following him. She decided to mark him rather than search for the snitch herself. Right then, if she wanted to tail him, she'd have to take consequences. He dived again, and Cho, thinking he'd seen the snitch, tried to follow Harry. Pulled out of the dive very sharply. She hurtled downwards. He rose as fast as a bullet once more and then saw it. For the third time, the snitch was glittering way above the pitch at the Ravenclaw end. He accelerated so many feet below. He was winning, gaining on the snitch with every second, and then, "Oh!" screamed Cho, pointing. Distracted, Harry looked down. 3 Dementors, 3 tall, black-hooded Dementors were looking up at him. He didn't stop to think. Plunging a hand down the neck of his robes, he whipped out his wand and roared, "Expecto Patronum!" Something silver white, something enormous, erupted from the end of his wand. He knew it had shot directly at his Dementors, but he didn't pause to watch. His mind still miraculously clear, he looked ahead. He was nearly there. He stretched out the hand, still grasping his wand, and just managed to close his fingers over the small, struggling snitch. Madame Hooch's whistle sounded. Harry turned around in midair and saw 6 scarlet blurs bearing down on him. The next moment, the whole team were hugging him so hard he was nearly pulled off his broom. Down below, he could hear the roars of the Gryffindors in the crowd. So that is just one scene from Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban. But if you've read any of the Harry Potter books, you know that Quidditch is a scene in every one of those books. So, are you ready to see what our activity is for today? All right, we are going to be doing the Catapult Challenge. So this is what you're going to get. You're going to be getting a bag that looks just like this, and it has your paper on the front and your directions on the back. Inside your bag, you are going to find a bunch of stuff. This one has a whole lot of stuff inside of it. Okay, you will find, you start pulling stuff out of your bag. I don't know what to start with first. Start with the paper. So you're going to find a paper, and on one side of it, it has the rules of Quidditch, and it tells you about the chasers, the beaters, the keeper, the seeker, and how the game is scored. On the other side is where you're going to write your rules. So you're going to have to come up with your own rules because your game is going to be a little bit different. First of all, you don't have a broom, so you're obviously not going to be flying a broom around your house. I don't think we can make that one work in our little bags to go. So with the materials that you have, you're going to create your own form of Quidditch game and come up with your own rules, and then you can play it. So you'll have that piece of paper, and then you're going to have all the pieces that you're going to need to create your catapult. You're going to have popsicle sticks. You're going to have a larger popsicle stick that has a lid attached to it. That is where you're going to be putting your ping pong ball on your catapult. And what else? You're going to have a pipe cleaner and a straw. Oh, and you're going to have a little piece of an egg carton. Kind of odd, right? Weird things in this bag. This one's kind of a strange one. All right, so let me tell you what we're going to be doing. The first thing that you're going to do is you're going to need to make your catapult. So I don't know if you've ever made a catapult before, but I'm going to show you how you're going to do that. You're going to take the small popsicle sticks, and you're going to stack them up to a stack. Not too many. So it'll look like this, and then you're going to take 2 of your rubber bands and you're going to hook them together. So you're going to do one at one end and the other at the other end. All right, just like that. Then you're going to take your 2 larger size popsicle sticks, so you have 2 of those, and you're going to tape those together on the end, just on one end. So you have 3 rubber bands, 2 on this one and 1 on this one. Now, what's going to happen is if I put this under here, notice now I have my catapult. So that is how it's going to stay together. And what you're going to be doing, so this is going to be giving you leverage so that when you pull back on this, it will shoot up in the air. Okay, a couple of things. First of all, you do not have to make your catapult like this. You can design your catapult however you would like, but it should be stationary. You shouldn't just be like where you're flinging the ball. You're going to want it to be stationary so that you can have it sitting down. This is a nice design because you can put your hand here and then pull back on this one. Another thing is that, so I hot glued these lids to these sticks. If it pops off, because sometimes hot glue doesn't always stay the best, we would like to think that it does. If it pops off, you can glue it back on. You can also replace that with a spoon. By putting a spoon on here, you get the same idea. Okay, so you could replace that with the spoon. So that's going to be your catapult. You're going to have a ping pong ball in your bag. That's going to fit nicely in here, and that is what you're going to be shooting out of your catapult to try to score points in your game. So the next thing you're going to need is you're going to need some type of hoop or something to shoot it into. So that's why you have the straw, the little eggshell, and the pipe cleaner. You're going to start by, you're going to use the pipe cleaner to create a loop, and this loop is going to be what you're going to be trying to get the ball through. Now, again, just like any time that I do science with you guys, you know that you can change things around, you can redesign, you can use other things from around your house. You want to make this your game. So if you're just using things in the bag, you're going to put the pipe cleaner onto the straw, and you may need a piece of tape there just to hold it in place. And then the reason you have the little egg thing is because this is not going to stand up by itself. So you could just tape it to wherever you want it to be, or you can kind of create a stand by putting it into this little cup, and then it will be able to stand better. So that's up to you. Just throwing that in there for an extra piece. And then what you're going to do is you're going to figure out some rules of how, like if somebody shoots the ball through here, then how many points do they get? Or maybe you'll have teams, and maybe if this is like our golden snitch, when it's shot, if somebody catches it before it goes through, then maybe they win the game. So you can decide. You're going to come up with the rules for your game after you create your catapult and create a hoop. You can create more hoops if you want. If you're doing this, if you have siblings that also get a bag, or some friends that also get bags, you can put your pieces together and kind of create your own game. It could be a tabletop game where one person sits on one side, one person sits on the other, and you can have fun with it. So thank you for joining me. I hope you enjoy creating your catapult and enjoy your game. Feel free to post pictures to our Facebook page, or stop by the library and tell me how it's going. Tell me what you created, show me pictures, and let me see what's going on. I kind of miss seeing you guys, so I would love to hear how it's going. You're welcome to stop by our library website and find more activities and more resources, and I look forward to seeing you next week for our next STEAM to Go activity. Take care.